back to back. Jacob Orr is there. The big train have done it again. Ripken League champs in 2023.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We're here at Shirley Povich Field, where your Bethesda Big Train is going to be taking on the Metro South County Braves in a play-in game for the LCS semifinals. Now, if your Big Train wins tonight, they'll move on to the semifinals to take on the Gaithersburg Giants. A loss tonight, however, would close the door on the 2024 season. My name is Phoebe Winters, and I'm joined, as always, by my broadcasting partner, Quentin Corpuel. Quentin, how are you doing tonight?
I'm nervous and excited. A little word combination there to start things off, but this is the first time the Big Train will be participating in the play-in round of the Ripken League playoffs since the format changed about a decade ago. They'll look to take down the Metro SOCO Braves for the fourth time this season, and they've taken 3 of 4 from them this season. Now, I don't know how much this actually means, but the last time it rained and the Braves were here at Shirley Povich Field, the Braves won 11-1 in a very shortened game. Hopefully for the Big Train, the result goes the other way, as I'd like to think they'd want to play more baseball.
Well, the last time these two teams faced off was in South County, and we saw 2 home runs, our second grand slam of the season, coming from Jaden Bastian. So I'm hoping for a continuation of the good times tonight. Again, a lot riding on this game tonight. Tensions are certainly high throughout the dugout and the bullpen, but there's also some bright spots. You know, not only do we get to come here to Shirley Povich Field for potentially one last time, but for another great event. We've got an Olympic gymnast down on the concourse meeting fans tonight, Dominique Dawes. Very excited to have her here at Shirley Povich Field to engage in the activities and the excitement of tonight. We've also got the Mad Max dog being debuted at Catalyst Food Truck. I'm very excited. We actually are going to get 2 of the Mad Max dogs to review for you on the broadcast later this evening. Of course, it's honoring Max Martzoff, one of the pitchers for the Big Train this summer. But Quentin, what do you think the Big Train needs to do to win tonight and continue their season?
I was going to give you a smart aleck answer before you said the second half of that sentence. I was going to go, well, I think they should win. I think that'd be a pretty good idea. But they have to start out hot. They've been doing a really good job of that. I believe their last 6 games have seen them lead after the first inning. That'd be great for them if they did the same tonight, because all it takes is a few swings of the bat to really change the game. I think giving themselves an early cushion would be extremely helpful. It's proven helpful over, again, this awesome streak they've ended the season on, again, winning 9 of their last 11 regular season games. They're only 2 blemishes against their potential second-round opponent, the Gaithersburg Giants. So I think starting hot is key, and having their best players play well. I mean, it sounds super simple, but as a wise man once said, big-time players step up in big games. We have a lot of big-time players tonight. Tonight's a big game. It's an opportunity to solidify themselves as a big-time player.
Well, we'll get into the big-time events later this evening. First pitch supposed to set off at 7 p.m. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you back here on the Big Train Baseball Network when we kick off. Baseball Network. We're going to set off with the top of the first. Is going to be Joey Wimpelberg on the bump for your Bethesda Big Train. The first batter he's going to face is going to be number 3, Jamie Liskowski. Your umpires for tonight at Shirley Povich Field behind home plate is going to be Matt Powers. At first is going to be Eric Slosek, and at third it's going to be Mickey Hopper. As we said, Wimpelberg up on the bump behind him. Across from him at home plate, going to be Luke Vaughn catching for the Big Train tonight. On the corners, it's Davin Whitaker at third, Emilio Gonzalez at first, Keenan Bowman at short, Justin Nato at first, and then from left to right in the outfield is Bastian, Williamson, and Diaz. Jamie Liskowski steps into the batter's box. He's going to lead off for the Braves. First offering, going to be outside for ball 1.
Oh, and we're off. We are so off. Jim Moore, we are talking playoffs. The quest for number 11 begins today.
As you mentioned, this is the first time in over a decade that the Big Train has had to play in the play-in game, normally advancing straight to the semifinals with the league title. This season a little bit different, but hoping for a similar result as last season's championship title. Count now 1-1 on Jamie Liskowski. The 1-1. That's going to be fouled off for strike 2.
And we've talked about it a little bit. Kaylee made a really good point the last time we were here at Shirley Povich Field a few days ago. Although the Big Train may have not had the season that they have a bunch of times in the past, they still won 21 regular season games and still put together a pretty elite season with Andrew Williamson leading the way.
The 1-2 going to be low for ball 2. You make an excellent point. I mean, Big Train ended the regular season with a 21-15 record, so it was still very much a winning season for them, and they clinched the 3rd seed. And their opponent tonight finished the regular season 16-20, and were able to clinch the 6th seed. 3rd overall in the South Division, as the 2-2 is going to be in there for strike 3 and out number 1. So Joey Wimpelberg off to an electric start. As we said, tensions are very high here tonight. The Big Train's entire season is riding on the events of this game, hoping to push their playoff to the semifinals.
Some early pressure innings here for Joey Wimpelberg, who's been very reliable for the Big Train all season long. A sub-3 ERA and just over 22 innings pitched.
As his first offering to Dylan Can is fouled down the 3rd baseline.
And I think manager Sal Colangelo could have gone a number of ways. But Wimpelberg deservedly and understandably getting the start with the Big Train season on the line. Some unfamiliar territory for Colangelo's crew.
The 0-1 to Can. That one going to be chopped up high. Under it, going to be Bowman at short. He fires it to Gonzalez at first, but not in time. So Dylan Can, starting off strong for the Braves, gets them aboard the base path.
It'll be worth monitoring. It rained for a couple hours here in Bethesda. That infield and outfield grass going to be a little moist, which will slow up a lot of ground balls, as we saw there. I think if the grass was dry, that one might have hopped a little more and given Bowman a better chance at getting the out at first.
So now stepping up to the plate is going to be number 20 catcher Halligan. He's the first baseman for the Braves this evening. First offering to Halligan. That one low for ball 1.
And I'll be curious to see for both teams how aggressive they are on the base paths, with the value of each run increasing exponentially as both of these teams' seasons are on the line. The Big Train looking to repeat as Ripken League champions.
As Can is chased back to first.
The Braves looking to avenge last season's play-in loss with what would be an upset victory today.
The 1-0. That one's going to be low for ball 2. Now, the last time we were here at Shirley Povich Field, gosh, it feels like forever ago. It was the end of the regular season. Manager Sal Colangelo picking up his 600th win. He is one of the winningest summer collegiate baseball coaches. And the Big Train took a dominant win over the DC Grays, which effectively eliminated them from the playoffs. The 2-0 is popped high but foul. My goodness, what a hit. A lot of power behind that shot from catcher Halligan.
So we see right there the Braves possess a lot of power. Their batting average might be middle of the pack, but their slugging percentage is up there with the best in the Ripken League, leading the league with a team-wide total of 37 home runs. A comfortable lead over the Big Train, who sit in second with 29.
The 2-1 to Halligan. Allen popped high and foul into the backstop. Chasing under it is Whitaker and Vaughn. Whitaker gonna make the catch to record out number 2. Excellent hustle from the third baseman, Davin Whitaker.
And excellent communication as well. It looked like him and Vaughn might converge for an early mishap in the field, but great communication by Whitaker at third to get out number 2.
Now that is the kind of hustle and play you want to see from the Big Train early on, showing that they're not going to make those slips in the outfield or infield early on. Getting off to a great start. Now up at the plate, their designated hitter, Jack Pokorak, number 46 for the Braves. First offering, going to be a little high for ball 1. Again, it's Dylan Can over at first.
Now Pokorak's been the baddest bat in the Braves lineup all season, leads the team in batting average, tied for the team lead in hits, has the outright lead in home runs and RBIs.
As Can going to be chased back to first.
Definitely a pretty solid playoff crowd here at Shirley Povich Field.
The 1-0. Allen going to be outside for ball 2.
Now, the first time these two teams met all the way back in the olden days of June 9th, Jack Pokorak hit a 3-run shot. Although the Big Train ended up winning that game.
The 2-0, that one's going to be lined to Bowman at short. He'll fire it over to Gonzalez at first, but it's going to miss. Can is going to chase after third. He will successfully steal third, and that has put runners on the corners for the Braves as number 6, Caleb Sanders, their left fielder, steps up to the plate.
So that was a heck of a Spider-Man jump at short there from Bowman. Unfortunately, just couldn't complete the play. Wonder how much the ball's sort of slipperiness from the wet grass and dirt might have played a part in that.
Again, not the best weather here in Bethesda. As you mentioned, Quentin, it's rained for hours, so the field is still a little damp from that. The first offering to Sanders. Allen going to be low and outside for ball 1.
And now we see Wimpelberg's mental fortitude being tested early on. Sanders batting nearly 300 this season with 3 homers and 17 RBIs.
The 1-0. Allen's going to be fouled off towards the Braves dugout for strike 1.
Comes into today riding a 5-game hitting streak and a 3-game RBI streak.
The 1-1. That one going to be lined out into right field. Under it with the glove catch, and out number 3, it's Christopher Diaz. So an excellent start for the Big Train, holding the Braves scoreless in the top of the first. Now they're looking to attack from the plate, but don't go just yet.
Jalapenos and hot sauce. So if we hear a mute broadcast for the rest of the game, it's because these hot dogs have effectively killed us. I say we go in for a bite.
I say we do. It's a loaded dog for a loaded arm, they said. Oh my goodness, I can't get a hand on it. Okay. Ooh.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh.
Love you, Mom. Wow.
Now, tell us about your academy, because your kids were... I am actually not a coach on the floor, so I don't want to,
Little Big Train mukbang.
That's
This is very good.
No, that's I like spicy
Wow.
food.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
That is really good. I like the chili and the jalapenos. I didn't get very much bacon in that first bite, but wow. That is definitely a loaded dog. You can feel the spice.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, just a tad, but that is delicious. I wish we gotten a chance to talk to Max before the show about the dog. He was very excited to debut his Catalyst hot dog today. I know that before, obviously, the Mad Max was debuted today, his favorite was the Nico Suave, which honors another Big Train alum who played for Big Train in 2021, and now he goes to FAU, just finished up his senior year. So that was his go-to. I imagine this is probably his go-to now. He got to design it himself. This is delicious. I'm gonna munch on this later.
I might come back to this. I wasn't really expecting it. I didn't think I was gonna like this as much as I did. So Max Martzoff, well done, my man. Well done.
Well, thank you for joining us for that little segment. Again, congrats to Max Martzoff for getting his very own Catalyst hot dog. You can get it here, too, if you come to Shirley Povich Field in the Catalyst food truck.
Well, now you got to do play-by-play. Are you ready?
I'm ready. We're going to cut it to the field for the bottom of the first. Leading things off for your Big Train, it's going to be Justin Nato, the second baseman. On the bump for the Braves, it's Kendall Cassidy. And behind the plate, it's Sean Pokorak, number 42.
They won't teach you this in broadcasting school, calling a game with your mouth on fire.
First offering to Nato. That one going to be high for ball one.
Now it'll be Kendall Cassidy, as Phoebe alluded to, on the bump for the Braves. Arguably their best pitcher this season, being deployed in the spot where the Braves need him the most.
As the 1-1 going to tail in there for strike one.
Has picked up a win in his last two appearances. Last time out against the Aces, which was a 10-7 victory for the Braves, allowed just 2 earned in 5 innings.
The 1-1 going to be low for ball two.
And we've said a bunch of times this season that it feels like everybody's beaten everybody. The Braves tied the season series against the top-seeded Aces.
As the 2-1 going to be in there for strike two. Count moves even on Nato. As you said, it feels like everyone has beaten everybody. The Braves, again, notching 1 win over the Big Train during the regular season. As the 2-2 going to be grounded to the pitcher, Cassidy. It slips out of his glove, but right at it is Laskovsky at short. He'll flip it over to Halligan at first to record out number 1. So now up to the plate, the man, the myth, the legend, it's Andrew Williamson.
Now the playoffs are where man can go to myth and where myth can go to legend. Andrew Williamson absolutely has the opportunity to do just that.
The first offering to Williamson. That one's popped high into left field. And under it with the catch, Laskovsky at short. So that's going to record out number 2. So a high pop from Andrew Williamson into left field. Laskovsky ranged over to make the catch for out number 2. That's going to put shortstop Keenan Bowman at the plate.
Bowman already a busy afternoon in the field. Let's see if he can spark an early 2-out rally for the Big Train.
The first offering. That one going to be outside for ball 1.
Bowman batting exactly .270, a trio of homers and 10 RBIs on the season.
We've seen him come up big in clutch moments as a batter and a pinch hitter, as the 1-0 going to be popped high, calling everybody off his first baseman, Halligan. He'll make the catch for out number 3. So a quick half inning for the Big Train. Both teams still held scoreless. Big Train hoping to keep them scoreless when we return with the top of the second. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the second. Both teams held scoreless in the first. Leading things off from the box for the Braves, going to be their catcher, number 24, Chris Morabito. First offering from Wimpelberg, going to be popped high and foul.
Now Morabito, one of 3 Bucknell Bison on the Metro SOCO Braves. The alumni of a baseball legend, Christy Mathewson, part of the first Baseball Hall of Fame class.
As the 0-1 going to be low for ball 1. The 1-1 to Morabito. That one's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Now also included in that Hall of Fame class, Babe Ruth, Honus Wagner, Todd Cobbin, some guy named Walter Johnson.
Not a bad crew to be aligned with. The 1-2. That one's going to be outside for ball 2. Count moving even on Morabito.
Now the Big Train hoping Wimpelberg can last a few innings. Has gone at least 3 in all but one of his 7 outings so far this season.
The 2-2. That's going to be outside for ball 3. Count goes full on Morabito. Again, Morabito, the right fielder for the Braves this evening. The 3-2. That's going to be outside for ball 4. So Morabito will take his base at first, and that's going to send up number 42, the catcher, Sean Pokrack.
I do like that pitch selection. That was, I think, what Wimpelberg was trying to accomplish earlier in the at-bat, but just missing there for ball 4. But now the Big Train looking to potentially capitalize on a ripe opportunity for some early defensive momentum. Smells like a 6-4-3 double play.
First offering to Pokrack is upstairs for ball 1.
Now by 6-4-3 double play, I mean jalapenos and cheese and chili that are still permeating the press box here.
Gotta say, my lips are starting to tingle from the hot sauce.
Again, I'd definitely eat that again.
Oh, 100%. I'm gonna have to visit Shirley Povich Field to get another Mad Max dog. As Morabito's chased back to first. Count still 1-0 on Pokrack. The 1-0. That one going to be grounded down the third base line. Going to land foul for strike 1.
Good stop there by the third base coach.
A nice little barehanded catch.
Again, still waiting to see a Lasorda. It's funny as long as they're not hurt.
The 1-1. That's going to be low and outside for ball 2. Morabito still aboard first.
Now Luke Vaughn catching tonight for the Big Train. His defense is going to be incredibly crucial. We've seen him throw out so many base runners this season and also keep a lot of potential pass balls and wild pitches in front of him.
The 2-1. Runner's going to go to second. Vaughn going to try and gun him down at second, but not in time.
Almost right on cue.
Just a split second too slow. So Morabito safely aboard second, putting the first potential run of the game in scoring position. The count now even at 2 on Pokrack. But as you said, almost on cue, Vaughn. Such a powerful arm. And we saw that Last time we were at Shirley Povich Field, the throw over to first, knocking out some teeth.
Like a lot of teeth. Yeah, definitely not Manoa Chapman's best day yesterday.
The 2-2. That one's going to be low for ball 3.
Again, that gave me some pretty vivid flashbacks of when I knocked out some teeth myself way back in the day. That is never a good feeling.
The 3-2. That one's fouled off, actually, to the player on deck. Luckily, he ducked in time.
That was a sort of a bailout swing there. That looked like, from our angle, ball 4. Unfortunately, Pokarak could not hold up in time. Let's see if Wimpelberg can capitalize on this unexpected opportunity, or if Pokarak can get him back and perhaps drive in the first run of the game for the Braves.
As a 3-2 popped high into center field, ranging under it with the catch, and out number 1 is Williamson. He'll launch it to Bowman at short. So Morabito will be held up at second, and that's going to record out number 1 for the Braves. Now stepping up, number 27, A.J. Lubrusciano, the second baseman for the Braves. Again, Andrew Williamson, just a vacuum out in center field. Not only made the catch, but was able to fire it over to short to keep the runner at second, not allowing him to tag up to third.
Now, Lubrusciano having a similar summer in 2024 that he did in 2023 with the Braves, playing a relatively reserve role.
First offering to Lubrusciano going to be outside for ball 1.
Although he has recorded 72 at-bats and appeared in 32 games this summer for the Braves, so he's been a frequent flyer in the Braves lineup.
The 1-0. That one's going to be a big swing and a miss for strike 1.
Lubrusciano's recorded a hit in 3 of his last 4, including Metro SOCO's last game of the regular season. Went 1 for 2 in a 5-3 win over the T-Bolts.
The 1-1. That one in there for strike 2. That one just tailing in at the last second.
And that's what I think Wimpelberg has been trying to accomplish with that pitch. That one more lethal to righties than it is to lefties. Now, although it doesn't necessarily start outside off the hand, definitely gets out there at some point in the middle of the ball's flight.
The 1-2. That one's popped high and foul over the home plate grandstand.
Wimpelberg definitely testing a lot of these right-handed hitters up and in. Results for Wimpelberg have been positive thus far. He's gotten a lot of swings and not a lot of positive results for the Braves.
The 1-2. That one grounded right to Nato at second. He'll toss it back to Bowman at short, unable to get the tag at second, but they've recorded out number 2. And with that, the 9-hitter, number 13, Billy Fluharty, going to step up to the plate. Morabito still aboard second.
Fluharty's had a decent summer, a couple homers, 7 RBIs. Batting just over .250 entering tonight. Had a double in that game against the T-Bolts a couple of days ago.
First offering to Fluharty, going to be grounded down the third base line to Whitaker. He'll fire it over to Gonzalez at first, and that's going to record out number 3. Big Train leave one stranded at second. Hold 'em scoreless for the second consecutive inning, looking to attack from the plate when we return. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Gonzalez, one of several Ripken League All-Stars on the big train, has been enjoying a really nice summer.
Oh my goodness, as the 1-0 is popped high into center field. Under it with the catch, and out number 1 is Billy Fluharty. A lot of height on that ball. Gonzalez, one of the most powerful hitters within the big train squad. Now up at the plate, third baseman Davin Whitaker.
Somebody I thought should have made the Ripken League All-Star team, has had a fantastic season up to this point. A couple homers, 23 RBIs, batting just under .330.
As the first offering popped high into right center field, and under it with out number 2, going to be Billy Fluharty.
I was about to say he's not usually afraid to swing at the first pitch, but in classic Davin Whitaker fashion, I did not get to say what I wanted to say because he swung at the first pitch.
He's definitely one of the most aggressive hitters from the plate, which has mixed results, but often pitchers aren't expecting it, and neither is the outfield, so he's able to get them by surprise almost. And he, as you saw there, he gets very powerful hits. That one soaring high into center field, but Billy Fluharty was in there on time. Now up at the plate, Jaden Bastian, first offering, going to be outside for ball 1.
Now Bastian has almost followed the success of his team, has recorded a hit in 6 of his last 7 games, which includes a couple of homers he hit in back-to-back games against the Braves and the Crop Dusters.
As the 1-0 is upstairs for ball 2.
That one at the only Boys and Girls Club, soaring over the center field fence for a grand slam. And in the Big Train's last game against the Grays, 2 for 3.
As the 2-0 outside for ball 3. So Bastian now sitting in favor of the count with 2 outs on the board. Again, hoping to generate some momentum across the base path for the Big Train. As the 3-0, that one going to be low for ball 4. Bastian going to take his base at first.
That's his team leading 27th walk of the season.
Was walked on just 4 pitches. Is now right fielder Christopher Diaz going to step up to the plate. Christopher Diaz, the former Tulane Wave, is now a Marist Fox. Recently announced his transfer. Congratulations to Christopher Diaz.
As the MAAC claims another from the Ripken League. That conference well represented.
First offering to Diaz is low for ball 1. Now Diaz was one of the Big Train players that was representing the Northern Cal Ripken League during the All-Star game. He's been performing very well for the Big Train this summer.
The New York native going a lot closer to home.
As the 1-0 going to be in there for strike 1.
Now we haven't seen Diaz play since that Crop Dusters game. Went 2 for 2 with an RBI. Again, that one was shortened due to rain.
As Bastian going to be chased back to first.
That one of 2 games the Big Train has played this season that have been shortened by rain. The other, as we alluded to earlier, was against the Braves here at Shirley Povich Field. Metro SOCO dominating that one 11-1.
As there's another unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first.
Kendall Cassidy trying to pull a Michael Penix and catch Jaden Bastian off guard. Unfortunately for him, to no avail.
The 1-1. That one's fouling off towards the Big Train dugout for strike 2.
Diaz batting a rock-solid .338 on the season. Not much of a slugger, but has been very consistent for the Big Train, both at the plate and in the outfield.
The 1-2. That one popped over the pitcher's head and missed by the shortstop. Laskovsky couldn't get a good hand on it. Sailed right over his hand, and with that, Christopher Diaz has put runners on the corners.
Now we've
for
seen
Luke Vaughn.
A bunch of Big Train batters so far get jammed. It's not often that when a batter gets jammed, they end up on first or beyond, but Diaz getting just enough of that to put that over the head of Leskovsky. And so now an early golden opportunity for Luke Vaughn to draw first blood here in the play-in round.
Vaughn was a part of the starting lineup during the Big Train's last game against the DC Grays. Started off his evening with a double, hoping for some more success from the plate as he's going to ground that one down the right field line. And that brings in run number 1. Diaz chasing for third. He's going to go home. Another stand-up double for Luke Vaughn. That's 2 games in a row. His first shot, a double. And he's brought in the first 2 runs of the game. Big Train taking a 2-0 lead.
Now, normally you'd rather not get on top of the ball, but Vaughn obviously there getting enough and putting it past Dylan Can at third, who was not protecting the third base line probably as well as he should have. And that one scurrying all the way into the gravel in the left field corner. That one not any fun for anyone that has to patrol the outfield. That one, Caleb Sanders struggling to corral in the Big Train. We talked about it earlier, getting off to a good start, giving them some insurance early on. Luke Vaughn doing just that.
As the first offering to Jordan Crosland is going to be in there for strike 1. Crosland going to be the designated hitter for the Big Train this evening. Now has a runner on scoring position in Luke Vaughn. 2 outs on the board. The 0-1. That one just missing for ball 1. That was crazy. It was almost as if on cue. I was talking about how he led off the last game at Shirley with a double, and then he does it again. Luke Vaughn. The 1-1. That one's going to be in the dirt for ball 2.
And a good block there by Pokrack. Although Luke Vaughn hasn't stolen a single base so far this summer, I'm sure the Big Train will try and take any potential break they can get.
The 2-1. That one popped into left field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Vaughn rounding third. He's going to try and go home, and that is the 3rd run scored for your Bethesda Big Train.
I don't say this often, but roll Tide, roll. I feel a little bit disgusting after saying that, but that's exactly what Luke Vaughn just did, roping a double down the left field line and then coming all the way home on a great piece of hitting from Jordan Crosland.
So now we're back to the top of the order. Second baseman Justin Nato at the plate has Jordan Crosland at first. Big Train already taking a 3-0 lead. Hoping to tack on as many insurance runs as they can manage. First offering to Nato, gonna be way outside for ball 1.
Now, similarly to Vaughn, Nato was a much later addition to the Big Train, but also similarly to Vaughn, he's made a big impact. Now, whether he's starting at second, third, or sometimes even short, he's been a fantastic 2-way player in his short time here in Bethesda.
Count moves 2-0 on Nato. His first couple of games, he went 6 for 6, reaching base on every at-bat. He's been a very powerful hitter for the Big Train. Has had a lot of consistent hitting throughout games. It's the 2-0. That one in there for strike 1.
And we're not only seeing the Big Train strike first, but we're seeing the offense snowball. So many times this season they've left runners on base, whether they be loaded or even just one on first, but capitalizing here early on.
The 2-1, that one gonna be lined out to right field. It's over the wall. That's a home run for Justin Nato. He brings in Crosland off of first, and that will bring the Big Train's lead to 5-0. What a powerful shot from Justin Nato.
I'm not saying anything University of Florida related, especially after I quoted Santana Moss in the pregame, but What a time for your first home run of the summer.
Coming in clutch in such a huge moment. Nato has definitely given the Big Train some insurance to carry them through the rest of this game.
And I'm sure his Jacksonville teammates, his former Jacksonville teammates, happy about that. Jaden Bastian giving him a warm greeting towards the dugout.
Now,
Oh, the energy's so positive and good.
Andrew Williamson hoping to keep the good times rolling. First offering in there for strike one.
Now Williamson has seen a lot of success against pretty much every team, but especially against the Braves. Not in their last visit to South County, but the one before sent one almost 460 feet.
As he lines the 0-1 just foul down the right field line. A great piece of hitting, unfortunately couldn't stay fair. The 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike three and out number three. But the Big Train take a 5-0 lead. A double from Luke Vaughn, a home run from Justin Nato. They've definitely given themselves some insurance as we head into the top of the third. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Big Train coming up in a big way in the bottom of the second. 5 runs to take the lead. Hoping to protect that lead is Wimpelberg on the mound. First offering over to Liskowski. Going to be low and outside for ball one.
The Southeasterners coming through here for the Big Train. It's been mostly Alabama and Florida leading the way.
It's the 1-0. Going to be low for ball two. Luke Vaughn, his first at bat, a double to bring in the first 2 runs for the Big Train. Nato followed it up with a home run over the right field fence. Big Train taking a 5-0 lead. Not a bad way to start off such an important game. Again, Big Train's fate for the playoffs rests on this game as the 2-0 in there for strike one.
And it's always so fun listening to a dugout or a crowd when someone who hasn't been known for power goes yard or looks to go yard. You could hear the energy.
As the 2-1 going to be fouled off for strike two.
And as I've said with momentum, energy in general, it's not something you can hold in the palm of your hand. It's not something you could see, but you definitely feel it. And I'd say we both felt it here. We were like, wait a second. I'm not sure that was supposed to happen, and I didn't think that was supposed to happen.
As the 2-2 going to be grounded foul, Liskowski will stay alive at the plate.
But Justin Nato giving Florida baseball fans a lot to look forward to.
Again, congratulations to Justin Nato for committing to University of Florida. He mentioned that's been his dream school since he was a kid. He's going to be taking his talents there this fall.
I'd also probably pick a gator to beat a dolphin in a fight.
The 2-2 to Laskowski, going to be fouled off towards the Braves dugout. So Laskowski will stay alive at the plate to face the 2-2 count yet again.
Laskowski's been a mantle of consistency for the Braves, mostly at shortstop this summer. He's looked very good in the field each time he's played the big train.
As the 2-2 grounded to the second baseman, Nato, who will flip it over to Gonzalez to record out number 1. That'll send up number 34, Dylan Can, to the plate. Can playing third base for the Braves this evening. Got a hit during his first at-bat.
Number 34, Dylan Can.
First offering to Can. That one in there for strike 1.
And now what I like about Wimpelberg in the big train defense so far, they look very calm. Doesn't seem to be getting away from them much. Whether it be a tough ground ball or anything that gets in front of Luke Vaughn.
Is the 0-1 going to be grounded foul down the left field line?
And even in the non-successes, like Keenan Bowman's miss over at first earlier in the game, it was a great stop. I mean, I'm not sure a lot of shortstops in this league could have corralled the kind of ground ball Bowman was faced with.
As you mentioned, it was kind of a Spider-Man stop. He took on an interesting stance, was able to get a good hand on it. Unfortunately, unable to make the throw very accurately again. With the rain earlier, ball could have been a little slipperier than usual after rolling through the wet grass. Count moves 1 and 2 on Can.
I'm not going to try to imitate what he did because there is a whipping ceiling fan right above us.
The 1-2. Going to be grounded to third baseman Whitaker. He'll fire it over to Gonzalez at first to record out number 2. So the big train infield off to a strong start.
Right behind the first base grandstand. If you want a little Olympic gold to rub off on you, a week before Paris,
Braves now with 2 outs on the board.
so take pictures with you.
As number 20 catcher Halligan steps up to the plate. Halligan, the first baseman for the big train tonight.
The first baseman, number 20, catcher Halligan.
First offering to Halligan. That one popped high and foul over the big train dugout.
Now Halligan was Metro SOCO's arguably best player last summer, led the team in hits and RBIs with 38 and 33 respectively. Not sure he's earned that honor this year with the presence of Jack Pokrack, but has been one of their best players nonetheless.
As the 0-1 just missing for ball 1.
His swing very much reminds me of Jock Peterson, another big, powerful lefty.
The 1-1 swing and a miss for strike 2.
And now another thing with big, powerful lefties, when they swing, they really swing. And we see when they miss, it looks like they might throw a muscle out if they're not careful.
So Wimpelberg now just 1 strike away from ending the top of the third, protecting the big train's 5-run lead. The 1-2 gonna be low for ball 2. Count moves even on Halligan.
He's tried that off speed a few times, has missed more than he's made. I'm curious to see if he'll go back to it here. Although that's really the only nitpick I've had through these first 2 2/3 innings.
The 2-2 swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 3. So the Braves held scoreless. Big Train still leading 5-0. Looking to tack some more on when we return with the bottom of the third. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
I'm here with Jimmy.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Big Train leading 5-0. Keenan Bowman gonna lead things off from the plate. Hit a high fly that was caught in the outfield during his first at bat as the first offering's in there for strike one.
Now it'll be a new pitcher on the bump for the Braves, and Parker Hogue taking over for Kendall Cassidy. Hogue going to be a rising junior at Slippery Rock, hailing from Haymarket, Virginia.
As the 0-1 gonna bang off of Bowman's helmet. That one ricocheting towards the Braves dugout, and Bowman gonna take his base at first.
We haven't seen baseballs off of helmets ricochet that far at all this season. That was almost cartoonish. We need to add some sound effects onto that one.
One just doinked off of his helmet. It, like
There's like a doink, so with some reverberations. I think we should get our social media team on that.
I'm telling you, we need a soundboard.
As it also looks like, more importantly, that Bowman is okay.
He looks to be A-okay as he's over at first base. Up at the plate, Big Train's first baseman, Emilio Gonzalez. Again, Big Train have taken a 5-0 lead in the bottom of the second. Looking to tack some more on.
And now Hogue has made a lot of appearances for Slippery Rock in his first two campaigns. Has pitched at least 30 innings in both 23 and 24. Almost the exact same ERA in both seasons, 4.78 in 2023, 4.71 this past season.
The first offering to Gonzalez is going to be low for ball one.
Slippery Rock also call Lou Trevino and Matt Adams alumni. Matt Adams, colloquially known as Big City.
As the 1-0 is popped high and out of play for strike one.
Was a part of the Washington Nationals 2019 World Series team, as well as those storied St. Louis Cardinals squads from the early 2010s.
The 1-1, Bowman gonna go for second. That one's popped high into left center field and caught by Sanders out in left field, so Bowman gonna remain at first. That's gonna be the first out for the Big Train, as now Davin Whitaker steps up to the plate.
Now, we saw Bowman try to steal there, and Bowman, to my surprise when I was looking at the stat sheet before the game, he's only stolen 2 bases so far this season. A little surprising considering the speed he possesses, one of the fastest players on the Big Train.
First offering to Whitaker. That one popped high into right field and ranging under it with the glove catch, and out number 2. Going to be right fielder Morabito.
Great backup by Sean Pokarak there. That throw from Morabito missing Halligan. Bowman looked like he wanted to take off, but Pokarak keeping him at first.
So now with 2 outs on the board and a runner on first, it's Jaden Bastian who got the good times rolling in the bottom of the second. During his last at-bat was walked out to first, and then a double from Luke Vaughn brought him home. First offering to Bastian, gonna be outside for ball one.
As I said earlier, the Big Train getting hot at the right time. So is Jaden Bastian. Has been one of their best players over these past handful of games.
Is the 1-0 going to be in there for strike one? That one tailing in at the last second.
And of course, his defense in left field has been so incredibly valuable. You've seen a handful of highlights out there from Bastian.
The 1-1, that one grounded up the middle shortstop Laskowski, who's going to fire and miss over to first. So Bowman going to steal third as Bastian is safely aboard first. So an excellent scoop from Laskowski at short, unfortunately missing at first.
These baseballs are just running on the Braves. Lefkowski, as I said earlier, has been pretty reliable at shortstop for the Braves this season. Now, maybe it's because we ate hot dogs earlier, but that one had a little too much mustard.
Now up at the plate, Christopher Diaz again. The newly committed Marist Fox got a hit during his last at-bat.
Not just any fox, a red fox.
Red Fox. So again, we're seeing a lot of excellent two-out hitting from the big train. It was on 2 outs that they were able to score 5. This first offering to Diaz is fouled off towards the big train dugout.
The concourse here at Shirley Povich Field is popping tonight. Definitely a beautiful night for baseball. Also a Saturday night.
The 0-1. Just a hair too high for ball 1.
That is an unbelievable eye from Diaz. That looked like a strike from our angle. Really nice plate discipline there. Let's see if he can reward himself by getting on base and perhaps driving in Bowman from third, or maybe even more if he hits it far enough.
The 1-1. In there for strike 2.
That's a really good pitch right there. That had Diaz off balance, it looked like the whole way.
The count now 1-2 with 2 outs on the board. Big Train has runners on the corners. The 1-2, runner's gonna go to second. Diaz will ground it softly over to the pitcher, who will make the tag out at first, and that'll record out number 3. So the Big Train leave a couple stranded on the base path, but they still lead by 5. We're going to protect that lead when we return with the top of the 4th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network in the top of the 4th. Big Train held scoreless in the bottom of the 3rd, but they still lead by 5. Looking to protect that lead. It's still Wimpelberg on the mound. His first offering to Jack Pokorak. Going to be outside for ball 1. Again, we got 2 Pokoraks in the Braves lineup tonight. It's Jack Pokorak as the designated hitter and Sean Pokorak as the catcher, as the count moves 1-1 on Pokorak.
Now, during the half-inning break, PA announcer Richard Shue announcing to the crowd here at Shirley Povich Field that it is intern appreciation night.
Is the 1-1 going to be low and outside for ball 2?
Some worthy recognition for all the interns here within the Bethesda Big Train organization that do such amazing work. I especially want to shout out our producer, Lindsay Morin, who is finally back with us here in the broadcast booth after being on the injured list for quite some time. We are very happy to have her back in the booth. The Fantastic Four of myself, Phoebe, Lindsay, and our producer, Jordan Parham. We're back.
We're so back. So happy to have Lindsay back with us. Glad she's fully recovered and doing well. As a 3-1, gonna be grounded to pitcher Wimpleberg. He'll flip it over to Gonzalez at first to record out number 1.
Those throws like Wimpleberg just made to Gonzalez, it's almost like a floater in basketball. It doesn't look that difficult from the outside, but when you actually do it, it is very, very hard, especially in a potential pressure situation. Great job by Wimpleberg to sink that baseball version, I guess, of a floater.
So now up at the plate, going to be the left fielder, number 6, Caleb Sanders. With now 1 out on the board for the Braves, who are still trailing by 5, have been held scoreless for the first 3 innings. He's going to lay down a bunt, and Vaughn will get it, fire it to Gonzalez at first. In time, they got him. It's out number 2.
Phoebe, we were having an extensive conversation the other night actually in South County about Beyblades. That was a human Beyblade right there, and an incredible throw by Luke Vaughn. The margin for error there was almost 0. That's an SEC level play. My goodness.
Luke Vaughn just showing what a huge piece he is of this Big Train lineup, not only from his hitting, but from his defensive plays from behind the plate, as the first offering to Morabito is low for ball 1. That was an excellent fire. You saw both Wimpleberg and Vaughn going after it. Vaughn called him off and was able to make such a powerful fire over to first. The 1-0 going to be fouled off into the netting for strike 1.
And not only did he have to accomplish a lot, he had to do it in a couple of moments perfectly. He had to barehand the ball, spin around without falling over, and then fire a bullet right into the glove of Emilio Gonzalez.
And he did so accurately and with such ease. As the 1-1 is grounded softly to Bowman at short, he's going to scoop and throw to Gonzalez at first. In time, they got him. That's going to be out number 3. Big Train still leading by 5. Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 4th inning. It's still Parker Hogue on the bump for the Braves. First up to bat, going to be the catcher, Luke Vaughn, who, as we mentioned, made a powerful scoop and throw after Morabito laid down a bunt. Vaughn firing over to first to record the out. First offering to Vaughn, in there for strike one. Vaughn kicked off his evening with a double, which brought in the first 2 runs for the Big Train, who are currently leading 5-0. The 0-1 is going to be outside for ball 1.
I was thinking about that play during the half-inning break. That was like if an NFL quarterback during the Pro Bowl skills competition was on ice skates and had to do a spin and then hit a target from very far away. It was graceful, it was difficult, but Vaughn was able to pull it off.
As the 1-1 going to be low and outside for ball 2. He's been having an excellent evening so far. Hoping to continue the success, not only from behind the plate, but on the plate. The 2-1. That one fired into right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. And Vaughn going to keep the train rolling. Reaches first and sends up the designated hitter, Jordan Crosland, to the plate.
Also recorded a base hit in his last at-bat. We've been talking so much about the southeast part of America. Jordan Crosland trying to put on for the region we're currently in, the District, Maryland, and Virginia.
And Crosland recorded a base hit, which put runners on the corners for Justin Nato, who of course fired a home run over right field to bring the score 5-0 in favor of the Big Train. First offering to Crosland, in there for strike 1. The 0-1. That one gonna be tailing in there for strike 2. Again, it's Matt Powers as the home plate umpire. We had the pleasure of meeting him as well as his grandnephew. A couple of days ago, he got to join us up in the booth and take a little tour as the 0-2 gonna sail over Crosland's head. Vaughn will take the opportunity to steal second.
That one just a bit outside.
Just a tad. Count moves to 1-2 on Crosland.
Looks like that might have hit him.
You know, I thought I saw him duck, but it's possible he didn't duck in time. Yep, looks like that was a hit by pitch. So that's going to put Crosland onto first. Vaughn on second. As Justin Nato going to step up to the plate again. His last at-bat, a home run over the right field fence to bring the score 5-0.
Is the nickname Tornado too much of a low-hanging fruit?
I think it works. He is a tornado. I mean, he tears it up over at second base, sometimes at third, and sometimes at shortstop.
And causing disruption to the local foliage. Yeah, I think we can roll with that.
He's walking up to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
Definitely one of his least consequential songs that he's ever released, easily.
The second baseman, number 8, Justin Nato.
Kendrick Lamar and Future. He just did 2 walk-up songs in one.
I realize I think the first one might not have been his walk-up song. I think they were just playing music while they got Jordan situated. He's going to show bunt but retract at the last second.
And here we find ourselves in yet another right bunting situation. Runners on first and second with no outs. Hasn't really mattered who's at the plate or who's on the base paths. This has been the call almost every time.
He's going to show bunt again, lays it down successfully. Crosland charging over to second, and they got him out at second, but Vaughn able to make it to third.
Hogue almost losing his footing there. Looks like the rain hasn't totally gone away from the infield grass.
So Nato lays down a bunt that advances Vaughn to third and puts him on first. That's runners on the corners for Andrew Williamson.
Now, the last time the Big Train played, that was a couple of days ago in their regular season finale against the Grays. Williamson stepped up to the plate 6 times and reached base all 6 times.
As the first offering going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1.
Now, we've seen him capitalize on a lot of off-speed pitches, especially low in the zone, but just a little out in front of that one. Let's see if he can bounce back after striking out in his last at-bat.
The 0-1 going to be low for ball 1. The 1-1, that one going to be chopped over to the second baseman, Lebrusciano, who's going to fire it over to first to record out number 2. But Williamson doing his job, advances Nato to second, and Vaughn comes home to record run number 6 for the Big Train.
Lebrusciano almost able to pull off the double play there. Unfortunately, couldn't land a tag, but able to get the out at first.
Now up at the plate, the shortstop Keenan Bowman was doinked on the head during his last at-bat. With 2 outs on the board, a runner still in scoring position. Bowman hoping to bring him home. The first offering outside. Check swing, did he go around? No, he did not. That's going to be ball 1 for Bowman.
We've seen a lot of times this summer, both with the Big Train and the teams they've played, oftentimes when it's just the bat moving, it gets out in front of the plate and they're called for a strike on those check swings, but impressive arm strength from Bowman there to hold up.
The 1-0 outside for ball 2.
And then Hogue tries him with a similar pitch. Bowman not taking the bait, this time with a little less turbulence.
The 2-0. That one in there for strike 1. The 2-1. That one popped high into right field, and it's going to land foul. So Nato charged over to third. He's going to have to track back over to second as Bowman returns to the plate for the 2-2 count. That one had so much height on it. It was a little hard to read, but landed foul just at the last second.
And great hustle by Morabito and right, almost able to get to that one, which would have been out number 3. That's one of the fastest bison I've ever seen.
The 2-2 outside for ball 3. Count moves full on Bowman. The 3-2. That one gonna be low for ball 4. Bowman keeps the inning alive. He's gonna walk out to first. Nato still aboard second as Emilio Gonzalez steps up to the plate.
The first baseman, number 45, Emilio Gonzalez.
The first offering to Gonzalez going to be outside for ball 1.
Now it looks like Hoag's fastball, that one runs similarly to how Max Martzoff's and Evan Hart's do, just from the right side. This one tailing away from left-handed batters.
As the 1-0 going to be low for ball 2. The 2-0 to Gonzalez. Going to be low and outside for ball 3, so Gonzalez now sitting in favor of the count, has runners on first and second, 2 outs on the board.
That was a really great holdup by Gonzalez. That one starting in the zone, but as what looked like a slider, most sliders from right-handed pitchers tend to dip back into the zone on lefties.
Is the 3-0 going to be fouled off for strike 1?
That one, although thrown inside enough to where it landed too far outside of the zone, so a great job of Gonzalez holding his upper body up, although his lower body looked like he wanted to swing for about half a second.
The 3-1. That one grounded through the hole. A diving Labrusciano can't get a hand on it, and Bowman comes home. Sorry, that's Nato comes home. That's going to record run number 7 for the big train. Bowman aboard third, Gonzalez aboard first for the big bad bat of David Whitaker.
How the rider Brock was able to get on his horse there. It looked like he might make the play. Unfortunately, suffering from a temporary case of, as we've said a lot of times this season, trampoline glove. It almost looked like he pushed that one out of his glove. That one rocketing towards the foul line, allowing Nato to score. And again, I'm sure the big train will take any break they can get. Now a couple of mishaps in the field for the Braves. Let's see if Whitaker can punish them even further.
First offering to Whitaker in there for strike 1.
And I believe that's the first pitch he's looked at all night long.
Got a good hand on the first 2 pitches during his first 2 at-bats. The 0-1. That one grounded up to the shortstop, Laskovsky. He'll fire down to first to record out number 3. But not before the big train scores 2. They've now brought their lead 7-0. Looking to protect that when we return with the top of the 5th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 5th inning. Big Train scratch across 2 more. They've taken a commanding 7-0 lead over the Braves. Wimpelberg still on the bump as the first offering to Pokrack. Going to be in there for strike 1. Again, it's Sean Pokrack, the catcher, currently at the plate. 2 Pokracks in the lineup.
Up to this point, I'm not sure you could have asked any more out of Joey Wimpelberg.
As the 0-1 going to be low and outside for ball 1.
There have been so many games this season where the Big Train have fallen behind early because of sometimes very good hitting from the opposition, but there have been other times where a handful of different starters have been able to go even a full 2 or 3 innings.
As the 1-1 is in there for strike 2.
And again, with the way the league is structured, you won't see too many iron arms in this league, but especially in a single elimination game like this one, Wimpelberg's longevity here being amplified.
1-2 going to be upstairs, bringing the count even on Pokrack. The 2-2. Swing and a miss from Pokrack for strike 3 and out number 1.
And that's been the intended result the whole time. Wimpelberg setting down the biggest bat in the lineup to start. Some kind of groove he's in right now.
Now it's the second baseman, A.J. Labrusciano, up at the plate. We saw him make a dive for the ground ball. Unfortunately, trampolined out of his glove, putting Gonzalez at first and scoring the second run of the bottom of the 4th.
I will say, if we take everything out of context and focus solely on the slide, that looked so fun.
The 0-1 going to be outside for ball 1.
It makes diving and sliding for baseballs a lot more fun and a lot easier too.
As the count moves 2-1. On the Brisciano. And during Labrusciano's last at bat, hit a high fly that was caught in the outfield. The 2-1. That one's going to be popped high and out of play, actually landing over our heads at the press box here. Count moves even on the Brisciano.
Still haven't had our Sean Salehi moment here in the press box.
The 2-2. Gonna be low for ball 3.
Wimpelberg going back to the off speed on a 2-strike count again. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The 3-2. In there for strike 3 and out number 2. Labrusciano sent down looking as now the 9-hitter and center fielder Billy Fluharty steps up to the plate.
I'm sure Yogi Berra would be very happy with that pitch selection. Again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
First offering to Fluharty upstairs for ball 1. The 1-0. Fluharty lays down a bunt, scooped up by Wimpelberg. He fires it over to Gonzalez. What a catch from Gonzalez. He records out number 3, and the Braves are held scoreless yet again. Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the 5th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Big Train still leading by 7. First offering to Bastion. He'll show bunt but retract at the last second. Count moving 1-0 on the left fielder. He's reached base on his first 2 at-bats. Looking to keep the good times rolling. The 1-0. Gonna be low and outside for ball 2.
Night beginning to fall here at Shirley Povich Field. Previously rainy skies looking very pretty at the moment.
The 2-0. Gonna be in there for strike 1. The 2-1 outside for ball 3. The 3-1 to Bastion outside for ball 4. He will take his base at first. That's the second walk of the night for Bastion. Again, as we mentioned, Bastion has had a lot of success against this team in particular. His 2 home runs from this summer, both coming in South County. Sorry, 2 of his 3 home runs this summer coming in South County.
That second home run he took opposite field. I don't know about you, Phoebe. I did not think it was going to leave the yard.
First offering to Diaz going to be upstairs for ball 1.
But the shorter dimensions at South County High School proving advantageous for Bastion.
He brought in 3 more runs with him. A grand slam for Bastion at South County. Diaz will show bunt but retract. Count moves 2-0 on Diaz.
Just such a little prankster he is.
He didn't even wait till the last second to retract.
Still waiting to see if he catches a corner infielder off guard.
The 2-0 outside for ball 3. So Diaz now facing a hitter's count. No outs on the board for the Big Train. A runner on first. Already leading by 7. Would like to keep the good times rolling, however, as they prepare to potentially move to the LCS semifinals tomorrow night. The 3-0 shows bunt again and retracts at the last second. For ball 4, he will take his base at first, pushing Bastion over to second. Now up to bat, it's the catcher, Luke Vaughn, been having an excellent night, not only from the plate, but from behind it. Started things off with a double that brought in the first 2 runs for the Big Train. Followed that up with a base hit, as it looks like we're gonna see a mound visit over to Parker Hogue. You can definitely see some action in the Braves bullpen.
Now, Phoebe mentioned a few moments ago, but if the Big Train were to hold on and knock off the Braves tonight, they would take on the Gaithersburg Giants in the LCS semifinals. The 2-seeded Giants, North Division champions for the first time ever. And in the other playing game, over in Waldorf at Regency Furniture Stadium, the Senators are currently putting it on the Crop Dusters, leading 7-1 in the top of the 5th inning. Now, if both scores were to hold serve, the Senators would take on the top-seeded Aces in the LCS semifinals.
Number 13, Luke Vaughn.
So we're going to see a conclusion of the mound visit and resume play with Luke Vaughn in the batter's box. First offering to Vaughn, he's going to show bunt. He'll lay it down. It's going to line, the left field line, but go foul. So Vaughn gonna have to return to the plate. The count now 0-1 on the Alabama catcher.
A lot of speed on the base paths with Bastion and Diaz. Bethesda looking to keep their foot on the gas pedal here.
The 0-1, he'll show bunt again. This one also landing foul. Vaughn gonna have to return to the plate for the 0-2 count. Diaz still at first. Bastion walking back over to second. The 0-2, low and outside for ball one.
It's always so tough to lay off those pitches. They start in the zone, and once you think it's a strike and you've already made up your mind, boom, tails right out of it. But a great job by Vaughn to keep his bat on his shoulder, give himself another pitch.
The 1-2, that one outside for ball two. As I'm gonna call time. Looks like it was a pitch clock violation, so the count gonna move full on Vaughn. Again, there is a pitch clock within the Cal Ripken League and is not shown to the players but up to the discretion of the umpires. I think that might have only been the second time this summer we've seen a pitch clock violation.
Haven't seen too many.
As the 3-2 gonna be outside for ball four. And Luke Vaughn has loaded the bases for Jordan Crosland. The designated hitter for tonight has reached base on his first two at-bats, first with a base hit and second with a hit by pitch. We're gonna see another mound visit over to Parker Hogue, and it looks like we are gonna have a pitching change, so we're gonna cut it to a quick commercial break, but stay tuned while we return with the bottom of the fifth. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network, still in the bottom of the 5th inning. Big Train leading 7-0, have the bases loaded. A new pitcher up on the bump for the Braves. It's going to be Luke Pietrandrea. Jordan Crosland at the plate for the Big Train. No outs on the board. First offering to Crosland going to be low for ball 1.
Now, Pietrandrea hasn't pitched very much this summer, only 5 innings entering tonight. Has allowed 5 earned runs. Actually picked up the win a couple days ago against the T-Bolts.
Is the 1-0 going to be outside for ball 2. The 2-0 outside for ball 3. So Crosland now facing a hitter's count. He's got bases loaded, no outs on the board. Big Train already leading by 7, but would like to keep the momentum from the plate. Again, if they advance, they will be facing the Gaithersburg Giants, who have given them a lot of trouble this season. 3-0 going to be in there for strike 1. The 3-1. That one lined out into right field. Under it with the catch, and out number 1 going to be Marabito, but tagging up is Bastian to score run number 8. Diaz advances to 3rd. Luke Vaughn still over at 1st. So still a very productive at-bat for the designated hitter. Jordan Crosland was able to bring Bastian off of 3rd and advance Diaz over to 3rd. As now going to be Justin Nato at the plate. Nato hit a home run over the right field fences to bring in the 5th run of the evening for the Big Train. Laid down a successful bunt during his last at-bat. It's now 1 out on the board and 2 runners on the corners. Big Train leading by 8. First offering to Nato, gonna hit him square on the back. So that'll advance Vaughn to 2nd and load the bases.
Oh boy, look who's coming to bat.
It's Andrew Williamson coming up to bat for the Big Train. Looking to come up big. And a golden opportunity, 1 out on the board, bases loaded.
Now, the last time I believe we saw Williamson step up to the plate with the bases loaded, I'd say it worked out pretty okay for him.
To set the scene for you, we were in Silver Spring. Big Train had fallen behind the T-Bolts, and then a grand slam from Andrew Williamson tied the game at 7 as he fires that one out into left field. It is caught by Sanders, but not before Diaz can score run number 9.
I think that'll do just fine.
Another very productive at-bat from the machine. Andrew Williamson brought in run number 9, as now number 9 steps up to the plate. Runners on 1st and 2nd, 2 outs on the board. Big Train leading by 9. Bowman has reached base on his previous 2 at-bats. Was walked during his last at-bat. Before that was hit by the pitch. First offering to Bowman. Upstairs for ball 1.
Bowman still looking for his first big moment at the plate.
The 1-0. Check swing. Did he go around? No, he did not. So that's going to bring the count 2-0 on Bowman. Sorry, he did go around, so that's going to move the count to 1-1 on Bowman.
Oh boy. That's 2 pitch clock violations now on the Braves.
So now the count moves 2-1 on Bowman after another pitch clock violation from the Braves bullpen. The Braves not in a position to give up balls. The 2-1 upstairs for ball 3. Count now 3-1 on Bowman. Again, it's Vaughn at second and Nato at first. The 3-1 in there for strike 2. Count goes full on Bowman.
Big pitch right here. Great job by pitcher Andrea to paint the outside corner there. That looked like a borderline pitch.
The 3-2 runners are going to go, but they'll have to return to their places at first and second as Bowman fouls that into the backstop.
That's a very freeing feeling as a base runner, being able to take off during a pitch with pretty much no consequence.
The 3-2. That one's going to be fouled off over the first base grandstand. So again, Vaughn and Nato going to have to return to their spots at second and first. The 3-2. That one landing outside for ball 4. We now have another bases loaded situation for Emilio Gonzalez. Again, Gonzalez recorded a hit during his previous at-bat, and then a fielding error out at second allowed him to advance to first. First offering to Gonzalez, gonna be low for ball 1.
Gonzalez also looking for a big moment here at the plate. Has had so many this summer, whether it be here at Shirley Povich Field or at the 7 other Ripken League stadiums.
So he'll swing and miss for strike 1. The 1-1 outside for ball 2. The 2-1 gonna be grounded. Catcher gonna make the fire over to first to record out number 3. So the big train leave them loaded, but not before they record 2 more to extend their lead to 9. Stay tuned as we head into the top of the 6th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 6th inning. Big Train leading by 9 after they record 2 more runs in the bottom of the 5th. It's still Joey Wimpelberg up on the bump for the Big Train. He's held the Braves scoreless for the first 5 innings. First offering to Jamie Laskowski in there for strike 1.
Joey Wimpelberg, the pride of Winter Springs, Florida. One of the finest pitchers to come out of the central part
Is the 0-1 going to be in there for strike 2?
of the Sunshine State. Gonna have a quick mound visit here. Also want to shout out the entire Wimpelberg family. We've had the great pleasure of meeting them, as have we've gotten the opportunity to meet many families here representing the Big Train players.
The Wimpelbergs have been so kind to us every time they've made it out to a Big Train game. Mentioned they always tune into the broadcast and are very supportive of what we do here. Also got to meet Trevor Orr's family and the newest addition to the Big Train bullpen. As we'll see a conclusion of the mound visit, count is 0-2 on Laskowski. The 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 1. Now stepping up to the plate, number 34, Dylan Can, the third baseman for the Braves tonight.
Vibes obviously very high here at Shirley Povich Field. A packed crowd has been very pleased with what they have seen so far tonight.
First offering to Can, gonna get away from the pitcher there.
Again, amidst unexpectedly high stakes this early in the playoffs. Historically speaking, it's usually been the Big Train getting a free pass into the LCS semifinals.
The 1-0. Check swing, did he go? Did not, so it's gonna be ball 2 for Can.
But again, that's another testament to how collectively good the Ripken League has been this season. The Aces have been atop the Ripken League amongst the cream of the crop for a while, but again, the Giants.
So 2-0 is nailed out into center field. Back at the warning track is Williamson. He'll stop at the wall. It's over the wall. It's a home run for Dylan Can. That's going to record the first run of the evening for the Braves, who have now cut the Big Train's lead down to 8.
That's the first real blemish on what has otherwise been a near immaculate outing so far for Joey Wimpelberg.
The first baseman, number 20, Catcher Halligan.
Now stepping up to the plate, number 20, catcher Halligan.
But that one, a heck of a shot. We haven't seen too many baseballs clear the center field fence.
Excellent piece of hitting from Dylan Can. As the first offering to Halligan, going to be in there for strike 1.
But Wimpelberg still in the ball game. Another test of mental fortitude here. How well can you bounce back from being a little shaken up?
The 0-1 outside for ball 1.
And speaking of competitive balance, the Senators still with a hefty lead over the Crop Dusters in Waldorf, up 7-2 in the bottom of the 5th.
The 1-1. That one going to be popped high into left field. And under it with the catch, and out number 2, it's Jaden Bastian.
Thought he might have lost that in the lights, or his eyes were going to guide his feet in the wrong direction, but is able to contort his body in time and make the catch.
Bastian charging over into the corner of the left field, making an impressive catch to record out number 2, as now up at the plate, going to be the designated hitter, number 46, Jack Pokorak. First offering in there for strike 1.
Again, Pokorak in the Braves' first game here at Shirley Povich Field against the Big Train. Did what Dylan Cann did just moments ago, sent a ball over the center field fence.
Count now 1-1 on Pokorak. The 1-1. That one lined to Bowman at short. He'll drop it, but fire over to first.
Wow!
And it's in time. They got him. An excellent scoop from Gonzalez, who managed to keep his foot on the bag to record out number 3. Big Train still leading 9-1. Stay tuned as we head into the top of the 7th. You're listening to, the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
The juices in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juices in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We've got a new pitcher up on the bump for the Braves. It's going to be Seth Claiborne, and a new batter up at the plate for the Big Train. Pinch hitting going to be Matthew Wesley.
Looks like he'll be subbing in for Davin Whitaker.
First offering going to be in there for strike 1.
Now the new pitcher on the bump, Seth Claiborne, has been a frequent call to the bullpen for the Braves. This is 11th appearance of the season.
As the 0-1 is fouled off out of play, landing in the trees over by the pavilion.
Looking to bounce back from a rough last outing. Gave up 3 hits and 2 earned in just 1 inning pitched against the Grays, although the Braves ended up taking that one 11-7.
The 0-2 to Wesley going to be high for ball 1. Wesley was a part of the starting lineup the last time the Big Train played their end of regular season game here at Shirley Povich Field. Wesley recorded a walk, went 1 for 5, as the 1-2 gonna be outside for ball 2. Count goes even on Wesley. The 2-2 nailed down to right center field. Under it with the catch, and out number 1 gonna be Morabito. So that'll send up Jaden Bastian to the plate. He's taken a pair of walks tonight. Also recorded a hit earlier this evening.
Seth Claiborne, a native of Omaha, Nebraska. Set, hut.
As Bastian will show bunt, but retract at the last second, but it won't matter as the first offering's in there for strike 1. The 0-1 gonna nail him on the shoulder. Bastian will take his base for the 4th time this evening off a hit by pitch. Quick mound visit between Pokorak and Claiborne. Bastian looks to be A-OK as he heads on over to first.
The right fielder number 27, Chris Diaz.
That recording the 4th hit by pitch this evening from the Braves. As now CRS CBL All-Star Christopher Diaz steps up to the plate. Diaz recorded a hit during his first at-bat and was walked during his previous at-bat. First offering to Diaz, gonna be fouled off towards the Big Train dugout for strike 1.
Again, Diaz not much of a slugger, but has been very consistent when he stepped up to the plate for the Big Train. Marist is definitely getting a good one.
The 0-1 runner's gonna go to second. High fly ball out into right field. Under it with the catch, and out number 2 is Morabito. So Bastian will have to stay at first.
Bastian looking to extend his team lead in stolen bases. Led the Big Train in the regular season with 13.
Speaking of 13, it's number 13, Luke Vaughn, coming up to the plate. Been having a heck of a night. Started things off with a double, followed by a base hit, and then was walked during his last at-bat. First offering to Vaughn, gonna be in there for strike 1. The 0-1 runner goes. Pokorak makes the throw over to second, not in time for the speedy Jaden Bastian.
That's stolen base number 14 on the season. His first of the postseason. One of 2 Big Train players with double digits in the stolen base category. The other, the starting designated hitter for tonight, Jordan Crosland.
The 1-1 Devon outside for ball 2.
And he just so happens to be waiting on deck.
2-1. That one in there for strike 2. Count goes even on Vaughn. Runner goes to third. The 2-2 lined into right field. It'll drop for a base hit, and Bastian will come home with the Big Train's 10th run of the evening.
I think if Vaughn continues to play like this, I think he might deserve a Chevy with the butterfly doors. Now 3 for 3 tonight. Such high quality contact. It's putting the ball in both halves of the field.
He is on fire tonight and is going to keep this half inning alive. Jordan Crosland up at the plate, 2 outs on the board, 1 runner at first. First offering to Crosland, going to be lined to third baseman Can. He'll fire it over to Halligan at first to record out number 3. So the Big Train leave one stranded, but not before they record their 10th run of the evening. Have now reestablished a 9-run lead. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the top of the 7th when we return.
Let's go down to the field now.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 7th inning. We've got a new pitcher up on the bump for the Big Train, going to be Jack Robinson. First batter at the plate, number 6, Caleb Sanders, and we've got a guest with us in the booth. Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hi, everybody.
Ryan has been a loyal fan of the Big Train Baseball Network, tunes into every broadcast.
Yeah. Me and my parents are hosting Sam Mitchell, number 32 this year.
How's that been?
Great.
He a fun guy?
Yes.
The 0-1 going to be swung on and missed for strike 2.
So Ryan, it feels like almost every broadcast you ask us for the umpires, and you're holding us accountable, which we really appreciate.
Yeah.
Do you like umpiring? Have you umpired before?
I just like the umpires.
As the 0-2 fouled off, out of play. Sanders will stay alive to face the 0-2 count again.
What about umpiring would you say you like the most?
Their calls. Was there actually a pitch timer violation tonight?
There were two pitch timer violations tonight.
When was the second one? I saw one of them.
Is the 0-2 going to be outside for ball 1? One was on Luke Pietrandrea.
That was the second one, was on Luke Pietrandrea.
How can the umpires tell?
They count. It's up to them.
It's not like the Major Leagues were.
No, it is not.
As 1-2 going to bounce in the dirt for ball 2.
It's a little tougher to keep track, especially because, like you said, Ryan, in the major leagues, they're able to see the time. Here, it's only up to the umpire. The only one that knows the exact time is the umpire, and so we've only seen a few pitch clock violations this year, but we've rarely seen multiple in a single game.
Yeah. Do you guys have the umpires for tonight?
Yes, we do. I can pull up that list for you now. So behind home plate, it's going to be Matt Powers. Down the first base line, it's Eric Slosek. And down the third base line, it's Mickey Hopper.
Mickey Hopper?
Yes, sir.
The 2-2 to Sanders. Going to be
Got
low
it.
for ball 3.
Now, Ryan, I do have to ask, since you are a big fan of umpiring, the pitch clock has been a very big part of baseball recently. Where do you stand on the pitch clock? Do you like it, or would you rather it not be as much of a thing?
That was my first time this season seeing it.
The 3-2 going to bounce in front of home plate for ball 4. Sanders will take his base at first. So Ryan, now as we head into the play-in game, Big Train has the potential to move on to the semifinals and play against the Gaithersburg Giants. What has been your favorite moment from the 2024 Big Train season?
The 2 grand slams in the past games.
That was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Jaden Bastian with a grand slam in South County and Andrew Williamson with a grand slam in Silver Spring.
I can't believe it. I was at the Big Train game in Silver Spring for part of the game, and Big Train was losing, and then they came back all the way from, what was the score?
They were down 7-2 in the top of the 8th inning and wound up winning the game 8-7. They have done that so many times this season.
There's been, how many chances tonight has there been a chance that Big Train could hit a grand slam?
As the 0-1 lined into left center field, it's over the wall. Sorry, it's at the wall. But that's going to put a runner. Sorry, it's caught for out number 1.
How many times have they had the bases loaded? Well, definitely at least one, because Andrew Williamson came up earlier with the bases loaded. But something they've done really well tonight is not only put runners in scoring position, but they've been able to send them home.
Yeah. I was getting kind of worried in that first inning when the Braves had the runners at first and third with 2 outs, so that they were going to score.
No, but Joey Wimpelberg, as he has so many times, that's an info.
As the 1-0 going to be swung on and missed for strike 1 on Sean Pokorak.
Who's number 20 for the Big Train? Because he was a pinch hitter, right?
Yes, sir.
Matthew Wesley. That's right, in the bottom of the sixth, Matthew Wesley pinch hitting for Davin Whitaker. Count goes to 2-1 on Sean Pokorak.
How can you guys see the comments from the broadcast?
Usually we occasionally check in on them during the half-inning breaks. We always love seeing you're there, making sure we get the umpires for the game.
The 2-1 going to be fouled off out of play. Count goes even on Pokorak.
Brian, we've been very appreciative of people like you who've been able to tune into a lot of the broadcasts this season.
Yeah. Were you guys at the All-Star game?
Yes, we were.
Were there a lot of people?
Comparatively to a normal Big Train regular season game, not as many. But it was still a very fun game, a very entertaining game.
It's the 2-2 going to be popped high and under it with the catch, and out number 2, first baseman Emilio Gonzalez. So that's going to send up number 27, the second baseman AJ Labrusciano.
Brian, you want to know what made it even more fun?
What?
The MVP of the game was a Big Train player, Keenan
Who?
Bowman.
Oh, yeah.
Keenan hit a homer later in the game that hugged the foul pole down there in left, but was able to keep it in.
Runner's going to go to second. Vaughn makes the throw.
I
and
wonder
it's
why
gonna be a tad offline.
I wonder why there were 4 umpires from that game, because there's usually 3 umpires.
We've seen anywhere from 4 at the All-Star game to a little while ago we went down to 2 because of an injury to the home plate umpire during the game.
What happened to that?
Took a fastball straight off the face mask,
Oh.
and so they had to go down to 2 umpires for the rest of the game.
When did it happen in the game?
I'd say the early middle part of the game. I don't remember
Oh.
exactly what inning, but we entered about a 30-minute delay as they had to reconfigure the umpire situation. Definitely not ideal, but they were able to figure it out.
Yeah.
The 0-2 to Labrusciano. Going to be grounded to Bowman at short. He'll fire it over to Gonzalez at first to record out number 3. So the Braves held scoreless once again. Big Train still leading 10-1. Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the 7th.
What?
Thank you, Ryan, for joining us on the mic.
Yeah,
We're going to
you're
cut it to a
welcome.
quick commercial break.
This night will last. Just let go. We're spinning with our eyes closed. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Big Train still leading 10-1 over the Braves. Leading things off is the top of the order, Justin Nato. First offering going to be low for ball 1. He has now reached base on his previous 3 at-bats. His last at-bat a hit by pitch. Before that, laid down a successful bunt. And before that, knocked a home run over the right field fences to bring the Big Train score 5-0. So he's going to swing and miss, fouling that one off for strike 1.
Now at this point in the game, if you're the Big Train, you really want to keep your foot on the gas. There have been so many comebacks throughout the Ripken League this season. The Big Train almost coming back from this exact deficit against the Crop Dusters earlier in the season.
The 1-1. Going to be low and outside for ball 2. That, as well as their potential next opponent, should they take the victory tonight and advance to the LCS semifinals, is going to be the Gaithersburg Giants. So the Big Train hoping to, as you said, keep the foot on the gas, continue to generate that positive momentum as the 2-1 is grounded down the third base line, fired over to first. It's going to miss by a mile. Nato going to charge over to second.
It's so crazy to see those plays and see, for example, a professional like Manny Machado make those kinds of plays look so easy. That's not an easy play that Dylan Can just tried to make. I'm pretty sure if every single person in the stadium tried to do what he just did, they would not be able to make it. But Nato able to capitalize and move himself into scoring position to lead things off.
And the tornado keeps moving, putting the Big Train's potential 11th run in scoring position for the machine, Andrew Williamson, up at the plate. First offering to Williamson, outside for ball 1.
Now, contrary to the rest of his team, it's actually Williamson that's struggled a bit tonight, although he brought home a run via a sac fly.
As the 1-0 outside for ball 2.
Again, Williamson setting Ripken League single season records in batting average, slugging percentage, and OPS. Was just 1 RBI short of winning the Triple Crown.
The 2-0 outside for ball 3.
He had to just settle for 2 crowns. And that also makes you think, what if he was on the original opening day lineup? What if he played that first week or so of games? The counting stats could have easily been a lot higher.
The 3-0 going to be in there for strike 1. The 3-1 popped high and foul out of play. That'll bring the count full on Williamson.
Williamson's season, it kind of reminds me of one that the great Josh Gibson had during his heyday in the Negro Leagues. I had mentioned it, I believe, on the Juneteenth Classic, but there was one season where he led the Negro Leagues in homers with 20, although he played just 39 games. They didn't play a whole lot of games in the Negro Leagues back then. Over a 162-game pace, he would have hit about 82 home runs if he kept up that pace.
As the 3-2 just tailing in there for strike 3 and out number 1. It looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter for Keenan Bowman and Landon Franklin. And actually, I think that might have been him out at shortstop during the top of the 7th. So now 1 out on the board for the Big Train, who have a runner in scoring position at second. Landon Franklin up at the plate. First offering to Franklin, outside for ball 1.
Landon Franklin's had a pretty good summer for the Big Train thus far. Looking to potentially help put the cherry on top of what has been a dominant performance thus far from the Big Train.
The 1-0 outside for ball 2. The 2-0 in there for strike one.
Waiting on deck is Emilio Gonzalez.
The 2-1. Low and outside for ball three.
Now, if Franklin is able to get on base, Gonzalez would represent the potential winning run, as, again, the mercy rule in the Ripken League is a lead of at least 12 after 7 innings.
As the 3-1 is lined out into left field. It drops at the wall. Sanders has a hand on it. He'll try and fire it over to third, but to no avail. Landon Franklin, a double to put runners on second and third for Emilio Gonzalez. Not a bad way to come in as a pinch hitter. Landon Franklin, a double. That one rocketed out into left field. Now making the potential victory in much closer grasp for Emilio Gonzalez again. The Big Train's potential 11th and 12th run. At second and third, Gonzalez at the plate with only 1 out on the board. First offering to Gonzalez, going to be grounded to Laskowski at short. He'll fire over to first to record out number 1, but not before Nato scores run number 11. Franklin going to advance to third.
That one took a funky bounce as it was headed Laskowski's way. Almost folded like a folding chair trying to field that one, but able to get a backhand glove on it and retire Gonzalez.
So now pinch hitter Matthew Wesley up at the plate. 2 outs on the board, a runner on third. First offering to Wesley, out in there for strike one.
Now Wesley representing the winning run at the plate. We've already seen the Big Train pull off 2 mercy rule victories this season, both over the Grays.
As the 0-1 is low for ball one. The 1-1 to Wesley. That one grounded through the hole, base hit, and that'll score run number 12. Wesley bringing Franklin home off of third. He has now put the victory run on first for Jaden Bastian.
The bird is the word, Phoebe. The Virginia Tech Hokie coming through there and putting Bethesda on the cusp of a play-in game victory if Bastian is able to hit one far enough. We've seen Wesley fly before. If you think all the way back to the Big Train's last game in Waldorf against the Southern Maryland Senators, Wesley was able to make it to third in his first at-bat.
First offering to Bastian is in there for strike one.
Speaking of dominance, the Senators up 9-2 now on the Crop Dusters in the top of the 7th.
The 0-1 outside for ball one. Great block from Sean Pokerek. Not letting that get away from him, keeping Wesley at first. The 1-1, just a hair too low for ball two. Runner goes.
Whoa.
Oh, he's going to get chased back to first. first, and no, he's going to try for second again. Getting caught as the second baseman slides in the dirt. Wesley successfully steals second. An unfortunate slip by Laskovsky as he was trying to make the tag at Wesley, just took a slide in the dirt, and with that, Wesley sweeps second.
Now that's my kind of pickleball. Big Train now 2 for 2 in first to second pickles. We saw actually the batter at the plate, Jada Bastion, get out of one a few days ago. Although he simply retreated back to first, Wesley actually able to make it over to second this time.
The 2-1 outside for ball 3. The 3-1 in there for strike 2. Count goes full on Bastion. 2 outs on the board. The victory run waiting on second in Matthew Wesley. The 3-2 to Bastion. That one's fouled off. Bastion will stay alive and extend this half inning. The 3-2 outside for ball 4. Bastion gonna take his base at first. Wesley still aboard second as Christopher Diaz steps up to the plate.
Again, Bastion doing a lot of walking this season, leads the team by a comfortable margin in BBs.
That records his 3rd walk for tonight. So now runners on first and second, 2 outs on the board. Big Train only needing 1 run to cut the game short at 7 innings and secure their spot in the semifinals. First offering to Diaz, popped high into shallow left field. Under it with the catch.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me in the corner alone. Meet me
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 8th inning. Still Jack Robinson on the bump for the Big Train. Kicking things off, it's going to be 9-1-2 due up for the Braves. The center fielder, Billy Fluharty, at the plate. Has gone 0 for 2 so far this evening. First offering outside for ball 1. Big Train came oh so close to ending the game in the bottom of the 7th. Left 2 stranded on the base path. Still sitting with a comfortable 12-1 lead as the 1-0 is in there for strike 1.
Now Robinson enters tonight having logged the most innings of any Big Train pitcher with 25 2/3. A glistening 4-1 record to go along with 27 strikeouts.
As the count moves 1-2 on Fluharty. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Looks like he was fouled off into the catcher, Luke Vaughn. Fluharty gonna stay alive for the 1-2 count. As the 1-2 sailing out into right field, it's gonna drop foul. So Fluharty gonna have to return to the plate for the 1-2 count.
Now this game hasn't been as reminiscent of the one, not the last time these two teams played, but the time before that, when the Big Train were teeing off at South County High School, knocked off the Braves 15-8 on the back of 4 home runs, giving the league leaders in team home runs a taste of their own medicine.
As a 1-2 popped high and foul, landing in the batting cages. So Fluharty doing well to extend this at bat. Will face the 1-2 count for a 3rd time.
But against the Braves this season, the Big Train have found so much offensive success.
As that one in there for strike 3 and out number 1. Now stepping up, gonna be a pinch hitter, number 29, Nolan Book. Pinch hitting for Jamie Laskowski.
We saw Nolan Book as the starting second baseman in Lorton the last time these two teams played. Nolan Book entering tonight hitting .327.
First offering to Book, gonna be low for ball 1.
Recorded a double against the T-Bolts a couple days ago, has recorded a hit in 4 of his last 5, including 2 the last time these two teams played on July 15th.
The 1-0. That one lined over the diving glove of Nato. That's gonna drop for a base hit. Nato launching himself into the air, unfortunately unable to get a glove on it. Now up at the plate, number 34, Dylan Can had a stand-up home run during his last at-bat to record the only run for the Braves so far this evening. First offering going to be low and outside for ball 1.
Crowd's thinned out a little bit here at Shirley Povich, but stands still decently full as the Big Train look to put this one in the can.
The 1-0. That one going to be chopped foul down the left field line.
Again, haven't seen a double play yet tonight from the big train. Perhaps the newly formed middle infield of Franklin and Nadeau can help spur the first.
As the 1-1, just a hair outside for ball 2.
Again, that middle infield with Franklin and Nadeau. Both of them will be playing in the Southeastern Conference next season, with Nadeau transferring to the University of Florida. Franklin will begin his second season at the University of Kentucky.
As a 2-1 grounded over the glove of third baseman Wesley. And with that, Can will reach first, and that'll push Book over to second.
That meeting point of the dirt and the grass is so dangerous, and we just saw the potential perils of it right there, with that one hopping higher than Wesley had anticipated.
Now 1 out on the board and 2 runners on base. It's going to be catcher Halligan up at the plate. Has gone 0 for 3 so far this evening. First offering outside for ball 1.
Halligan's made good contact with a couple of pitches so far tonight. Actually ripped one foul down the right field line earlier in the game.
The 1-0. That one sailed into right field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Runners advance to third and second. Looks to be some confusion.
I think we have conflicting rulings amongst the umpires.
One seems to have ruled that it went foul. The other believes it went fair, but that's going to bring in the second run for the Braves, as the ruling remains that the ball was fair, just hugging that right field line.
Number 46, Jack Pocker.
So now the Braves have 2 runs on the board, 2 runners in scoring position for number 46, the designated hitter, Jack Pokorak. First offering to Pokorak is low and outside for ball 1.
Now, if the big train want to end this game early, they'll have to put up at least 2 in the bottom half of the 8th inning.
The 1-0. That one getting away from catcher Luke Vaughn. The runner will score off of third.
Haven't seen that too often from Luke Vaughn. Has usually been a steel wall behind the plate.
So now runners on third. 1 out on the board. Pokorak facing a 2-0 count. The 2-0 outside for ball 3.
And waiting on deck is Sanders, who has proven to be a power bat. Again, a trio of homers in the regular season.
The 2-0 upstairs for ball 4. So Pokorak will take his base at first. There are now runners on the corners for Caleb Sanders, as we're going to see a quick mound visit between Vaughn and Robinson.
Now another score update from Waldorf. Senators lead the Crop Dusters 9-3 in the top of the 8th inning. Again, if both of the scores from here at Shirley Povich Field and at Regency Furniture Stadium hold serve, the big train will be playing the Gaithersburg Giants in the LCS semifinals, and on the other side of the bracket, the Southern Maryland Senators will take on the top-seeded Alexandria Aces.
Looks like we're going to see a conclusion of the mound visit to Robinson, as now Caleb Sanders steps into the batter's box again. He's got runners on the corners, 1 out on the board. First offering to Sanders, upstairs for ball 1. The 1-0. That one's going to be in there for strike one.
Now it's interesting looking at the box score of the Senators game. Talk about a well-balanced machine. For Southern Maryland, 8 different batters have recorded at least one hit tonight.
The 1-1. That one grounded to third baseman Wesley. He'll fire it over to second, as Nato will fire it over to Gonzalez at first. Unable to get the out at first, but we're able to get the out at second to record out number 2. The Braves scored their 4th run of the evening, as now Chris Morabito steps up to the plate. Again, Braves have 1 runner at first in Caleb Sanders, and 2 outs on the board. Have now cut the Big Train's lead down to 8. First offering, gonna get away from catcher Vaughn, and with that, Sanders will advance to second. Count moving 1-0 on Morabito.
Also going way back to the first inning, want to wish everyone a very belated National Hot Dog Day.
The 1-0. Upstairs for ball 2.
Saw the Catalyst hot dog car depart Shirley Povich Field a few moments ago.
Thankfully not before we got our Mad Max dogs. The 2-0 gonna be popped high into center field. Under it with the catch, and out number 3 is Andrew Williamson. So the Braves leave a couple stranded on the base path, but not before they record 3. Big Train now lead by 8. Looking to tack on a couple more when we return with the bottom of the 8th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
The juices in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. 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 Boogie down, fix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juices in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey, hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey, hey baby, I
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Big Train leading by 8 after the Braves put up a 3 spot in the top of the 8th. It's Luke Vaughn kicking things off. He'll take the first offering from new pitcher Logan Tapman for a ball.
Now Tapman enters tonight with 5 appearances, just 6 1/3 innings pitched, has allowed 5 earned runs. Now, the only time he's faced the Big Train was back on July 2nd. Picked up the loss in that one, allowing 5 hits and 3 earned in just 2 innings pitched.
The 2-0 to Vaughn outside for ball 3.
Tapman from Berlin, Maryland, attending Lynchburg College.
The 3-0. Upstairs for ball 4. Vaughn will take his base. That's his second walk-up hit the night and records his 5th time this evening reaching base. Now stepping up to the plate, going to be a pinch hitter, Josh Skoronsky. Had a heck of a night the last time he played here at Shirley Povich Field against the DC Grays with a home run to kick things off.
Recorded 3 RBIs and 3 walks to go along with that home run.
First offering to Skoronsky in there for strike 1.
Skoronsky taking his talents from Lexington, Kentucky to Rock Hill, South Carolina, as he'll join the Winthrop Eagles.
The 0-1 to Skoronsky, outside and low for ball 1. The 1-1. That one's going to be fouled off for strike 2. Looks like it might have caught a little bit of the catcher, Sean Pokorek, there. Count now 1-2 on Skoronsky. Luke Vaughn at first. No outs on the board for the Big Train, who are currently leading by 8.
The Senators also extending their lead to 8, up 11-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Another solid season for the Crop Dusters, on the verge of ending, I'm sure for them, in disappointing fashion.
The 1-2. Gonna be low for ball 2. Count moves even on Skoronsky.
Everybody clap your hands.
The 2-2. Lined out into right field. It's gonna land foul by the Braves bullpen. So Skoronsky will stay alive to face the 2-2 count again. The 2-2. That one line through the middle. It's a base hit for Josh Skoronsky. Vaughn gonna charge for a 3rd. So Skoronsky has now put runners on the corners for Justin Nadeau. Nadeau been having one heck of a night. Hit a home run over the right field fences. Laid down a successful bunt. Was hit by the pitch and then knocked in a double.
Thought that ground ball by Skoronsky was on the verge of sniping Luke Vaughn. Thankfully, Vaughn not running into an out there. Now it's been a guy who has played almost on the level of a superhero tonight, Justin Nadeau.
First offering to Nadeau. Runner will go. The throw down to second, gonna miss. So Vaughn gonna tag up at home. That's gonna score run number 13 for the Big Train. Skoronsky successfully stealing second.
Things I thought I would not see tonight is Josh Skoronsky stealing a base, had just one swiped bag all summer before that.
What a time to do so, is now the Big Train only needing 3 runs to end this game here. Nadeau facing a 1-0 count, no outs on the board. Skoronsky in scoring position at second. As we'll see a quick timeout. Nadeau stepping out of the box. We'll resume play here. Nadeau at the plate facing a 1-0 count. The 1-0 in there for strike one.
Somebody get Patrick a red marker.
The 1-1. Low and outside for ball 2.
I wonder if the external sounds can be picked up for the viewers to listen to at home, or if they just heard me just say that without any context whatsoever.
The 2-1. That one gonna be grounded over the glove of the pitcher. Nadeau will successfully reach first. Skoronsky will reach third. There are now runners on the corners for Andrew Williamson. Now Williamson has yet to reach base tonight, but he's had a couple of productive at-bats with a couple of sac flies to push runners forward. Now we've mentioned that throughout the regular season, he was able to reach base at least once during every game played. Looking to continue that streak here in the playoffs. First offering to Williamson, high and outside for ball 1.
Again, baseball is unique because you can succeed 25% of the time and still be considered okay at your job. Andrew Williamson hasn't had the best night tonight, but with one swing of the bat, could be considered one of the pillars of a potential victory.
As the 1-0 is fouled off down the first base line for strike 1. The 1-1. That one popped high into right field. And he's done it again. A home run for Andrew Williamson. Gonna clear the bases. The Big Train with a score of 16-4. They're gonna go to the semifinals. Your 2024 Big Train is advancing to the LCS semifinals. Andrew Williamson, what a guy. What a guy. Quentin, how are you feeling in this moment?
You know, Phoebe, a wise gal once said, I don't know how it gets better than this. This was an all-around complete performance, whether it was Joey Wimpelberg going a long ways into the game, starting on the mound in a big-time spot, or whether it was really most everybody at the plate. It was a collective effort on offense. The cherry on top, of course, it had to be Andrew Williamson with a towering 3-run shot over the retired numbers in right field. I'm not saying that number 29 should be retired within the Big Train organization, but Andrew Williamson is given everyone here a pretty good case to put his number out in right field as well.
That was just such an incredible shot. I just in shock watching it all happen. As you said, it's been a collective effort all night long. Joey Wimpelberg starting things off from the mound. You saw the big train get oh so close to ending the game at 7 innings, and then Braves took a couple more runs, but the big train came back in a big way. Now they're advancing to the semifinals.
We get to see more baseball.
The summer is not over yet, and I couldn't be happier when we get to stick around in the booth for a couple games longer. Big Train hoping to push their playoff run even further. What a game. What a way to come out into the play. There was a lot riding on this game, so much tension coming into the field tonight, and they dominated 16-4 in a play-in game to advance themselves to the semifinals. What are you looking forward to tomorrow in Gaithersburg?
Well, this is a big hump that the Big Train have almost never gotten over this season. The Giants have given them a ton of trouble throughout the regular season. Again, 9 of their last 11 games, the Big Train won. Their only 2 defeats were to the Gaithersburg Giants. At their place, it was by a final score of 3-1. That was a clunker. The Big Train scoring 1 in the top of the first, then getting held scoreless the rest of the way. And the last time these two teams played, which was here at Shirley Povich Field, the Giants exploded for 12 runs and clinched the North Division Championship. So it should be a clash of titans over at least these next 2 games. And we might even get a winner-take-all Game 3, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Just thankful to be able to watch more baseball this season. The Big Train have now outscored their last 2 opponents 32-8.
Well, I'm excited for the summer to continue for just a bit longer. Your Bethesda Big Train advancing to the LCS semifinals tomorrow night in Gaithersburg. They'll take on the Gaithersburg Giants. Andrew Williamson, a home run to bring home the victory. And congratulations to Max Martzoff for being honored by Catalyst Hot Dogs with his very own Mad Max dog. Thank you all for listening. For our producers, Jordan Parham, Lindsay Morin, who is finally back in the studio. So happy to have her back.
Yeah.
For our executive producer and general manager, Harrison Myers, for my partner, Quentin Corpuel. My name is Phoebe Winters, and you have been listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.